What's going on, man? Welcome back to the basement. I'm Ron. We are here 8:15 Eastern sharp. As you guys know, we are here to do yet another underdog draft or two. We'll see. We'll see. But we have a lot to talk about. We had Jordan Addison getting suspended officially. I guess we've been anticipating it now for a while. We had as well Keenan Allen signing for like $8 million, a lot of incentives with the Chargers. We'll cover it all. We'll draft a team. We'll have a blast. Let's hop straight into a Best Ball Mania draft. 20 seconds per pick, $25 to enter, $2 million to first place. If you want to hop in here with us, use promo code RON on Underdog. They'll match your first deposit up to $1,000. I have links in the description. Pinned at the top of the live chat right now, pinned at the top of the comments where you can click it. It'll take you to Underdog. It'll put in my code for you, and you can hop in here and draft with us all summer long. We got 50 more of these to go. Bang. Let's hop straight into one. I was going to say if you want to hop in with us, you can, but that is just absolutely not true. All right. Let's get situated. I will say I was supposed to be on here at 8:15. I'm not going to throw my mom under the bus. A bit of a miscommunication. I thought she was going to bring the dog down. She did not bring the dog down. So I had to go grab the dog, take out the dog. Is she in the background? Nope, she is next to me. My bad. All right. Let's get situated here. Here's the draft board. We pulled the 108. What do we got? Who's in here? Who's in here? Have this problem at number 4 in 3 drafts right now. Good problem to have, I guess. Oh, you're picking from the 4th spot in 3 drafts. What do we got? People are complaining about Ladd and Keenan Allen. I'm not like super. I wouldn't move Ladd McConkey that far down. I think for me he's still a late second. I think it's really more so impactful of the ancillary pieces, right? Whether that's Trey Harris, whether that's Quentin Johnston, whether you're a believer in Keandre Lambert-Smith. I think those are the guys who get hurt by this. I think Ladd McConkey is an undeniably good player and is going to get his regardless, is kind of how I would view it. Now, maybe some of the slot usage you'd like him to see will get taken up by Keenan Allen, but I don't think it'll be such a staggering amount that it becomes an issue. But let's see. A bit. Oh, nope, not what I'm not what I'm looking for. Here we go. All right. Back to what we're looking for. Chase, Jefferson, Saquon, Bijan off the board. We got Desmond James in here. Another August day, another RS draft. Yes, sir. As you guys know, if you look on your calendar and it says August, it says the 8th month of the year, I will be here and streaming as long as I am breathing. And of course, we get the 8 spot again. We got the 8 spot yesterday, and it forced us into a 0 RB sort of setup here. And it's going to happen again. We're going to go Puka Nacua. Damn, I hate that we got the 8 spot in back-to-back streams here. But that's where we're at. Let me get the comments where I want them to be so I can actually interact with you guys. As always, leave a like on the stream. Why not? Doesn't hurt. We got Lake Duchesne in here. I don't think I'm even saying that right. It ain't Mr. August stream unless he's... Nah, I'm here right at 8:15 on the dot, my boy. Got Grant Pickard. I will say I did just get done recording tomorrow's video. I was like, maybe I'll post it. I got done around like 7:30. I was like, oh, maybe I'll post it and then I'll stream after. Nah, let's... I wanted to get a video out today, but we can get into a groove here where I can post things in the morning or lunchtime. Just I don't know. I'm getting too into the weeds there, but I don't want my stream to conflict with the video. Is what I'm saying. But run Snapchat. But just know I'm sitting on a banger. Tomorrow's video is gonna be good. Like I will say, in years past, I've been like, oh, I don't want to post this video until late August because it's a banger. No. Every video that I could think of that's going to do really, really well, we are going to be doing nothing but bangers. And you know, if August 20th gets here and I don't have any videos that I think are bangers per se, then it is what it is. Did we do the A.J. Brown thing yesterday? Damn it, this is so boring for you guys. It's the same start through 2, but we'll see what comes back to us. We'll see if we learn any lessons. Yeah, this is largely my take as well. I'm not really budging on Lad. Like we see in this draft, like Lad goes 19th. The one, what do we got in here? We got Compulsive EDC. We got MMA Outlawed. Moody. What do you think about Rashi Rice based on this? That's honestly one of my takeaways as well, is that Rashi Rice gets a fatter suspension maybe we thought. I thought maybe it was in the range of outcomes that maybe he gets a little slap on the wrist of like 2 to 3 games. I think if Addison's going to get 3, which was in the range of like 1 to 3 for Addison, I think that we're going to get closer to 6 games for Rashi Rice. Something to definitely think about. Jesus Sosa in here, that's a name I recognize. We got Steve Pavia, that's a name I recognize. We got Dylan in here. We got Jack Levins in here. Throw mama under the bus. Look, man, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. We got Ray Gill. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, that's an OG. I helped your wife win your family league? Hey, yo. Using my cheat sheet? Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, I appreciate that. I was going to say something slick there, but I'll chill. Brees is there at 3. Take him. All right, we'll see. We'll see. We got my boy Rothbard in the chat. It's August. We're here. Hey. Is that DJ Trizzo in the chat? Opinion on DeAndre Swift? Not crazy about him in like the 6th round. I don't know. We got my dog in here telling me to take Brees. I'll take Brees right here. Why not? I'll take Brees and we got other elite quarterback options later. I think if you are going to go 2 wide receivers up top, like this is a good way to do it. 2 wide receivers up top. You take a running back in the 3rd. If Hampton was there, I would have taken Hampton, I'll be honest. What else we got in here? Thoughts of moving Puka down because of Stafford? I'm not scared just yet. But One-way feels like the worst spot this year. Yeah, I'm not thrilled about it. I will say, no. I was going to say, I thought maybe we got it 3 days in a row, but we did not. But yeah, 108 is brutal. It's just, it's in a spot where I don't want to pull, like, you're in this spot where, like, running back just doesn't really make a ton of sense for you. If that makes sense. I do have Kenneth Walker as my highest ranked guy here, but and I could like maybe try and push Jalen Hurts, but where's the Devontae Smith? No one's taken yet, so Devontae Smith will go here. I'll go Jalen Hurts if this guy lets me. I saw a quarterback there. I was like, no way. All right, so we'll go Hurts. I think this is a fun, balanced way to start a draft. Puka, A.J. Brown, Brees, Jalen Hurts. What do we think? Post at the end of the stream? No, it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. Just trust. Trust. Tomorrow morning, it'll be in your inbox. Yeah, it is funny. Like, we already knew. That's the thing with Addison. He is on the thumbnail, and I'll touch on it briefly, but I'm not really budging on Addison. Like, I have him ranked in the 60s now, and that was, like, under the assumption he'd get suspended a few games. I guess we did think 1 to 3 games, but, like, most likely, like, 3. I'll probably move with ADP. Like, if ADP now moves him down, then I'll probably be wherever the market sets. But yeah, in terms of the 8 spot, it does suck because it's 8 is just too early for me personally to take Achane, who I love. And then by the time you get back to 205, Genty, Henry, Achane are gone. So then you have to decide if you want to pull up Taylor, Bucky Irving, or Chase Brown, or just take the 2 highest ranked players in my rankings, Puka and AJ Brown. But I think we're gonna land this plane all right. Should have snagged Brock. Brock's interesting. I have a lot of AJ Brown. I like Brock Bowers, but like he keeps falling to the back half of the site. Like I don't think that I have to take him there. Puka over Baker. Come on now. We got Alfonso Portillo in here. Hell yeah. Cole Bryant, that's a name I recognize as well. You know what? Let's get back for that other day. Let's get Trevion Henderson in here. I have them all ranked back to back between Harvey, Connor, and Trevion Henderson, but why not take Henderson? Fun upside swing at running back. We're already not set at receiver, but we already are so stacked at receiver that I wanted to go RJ Harvey or Henderson there. I already have a decent amount of Harvey, and I don't want to end up with no Henderson just because I have Harvey ranked 47th. Versus Henderson's 48th. And I will say the rankings that I have uploaded are from the Patreon, and they're really meant for home league, so they're not directly translatable. And you could have made the case, like, maybe at 57, Waddle could have been the pick there, but I don't know. I want to take a running back there, and then I'll like whatever receiver gets back to me at 65, and if I don't, then I don't, We have enough receivers early that I don't feel a ton of pressure. Half PPR versus full PPR, I guess it slants things a little bit towards running back, but I think it's overblown. I really, I have my rankings uploaded to Underdog that are meant for full PPR, but I think that you can use them for both and be fine. Do I have any stacks that I like to target? It's really just whatever comes to me. Underdogs are half PPR. Land this plane early, we'll see. We got a yeet in the chat. And then what comes back? We got Olave here if we want it. See, I like Olave. That was the 2 for 2. Is the running backs were off the board, so it would have been like Waddle. Wow, that's a great Flowers price that I'm very jealous of. But that would have been like... I guess I'm curious what you guys think about that. No, it wouldn't even been that. It would have been like Waddle, Swift versus Henderson, Olave. I think it's a tough decision, but given how good our receiver room already is up top, I felt like I could go Henderson there. Over under where Keenan goes in this, I would guess like 14th round. Not Divas. I'm just like I don't know. I was just making a joke where 4th year on the Patreon. Oh, Liam, that's a name I recognize. Hell yeah, man. I like this start too. I was complaining about the 108 earlier, but this feels like a really solid start from the 108. About as good as you could ask for. Kyron move up after the extension. I don't think I'm going to really move him that much. Like 31st, I'm not taking him there. I still think even though they paid him, it wasn't crazy good money. I think it was somewhere, I saw somebody say it was like somewhere like the Ramondre Stevenson range. I think it's fine. But I think even paying him, like James Cook is going to get money here in a second, right? Let's say he does get extended. That doesn't really stop the Bills from still playing him like 50% of the snaps and using a lot of Ray Davis, Ty Johnson. Like, I get the idea of following the money. But at the same time, I was already kind of anticipating a role change, and the money to me wasn't like set the market crazy money. So I don't know that it's like I was expecting him to sign the extension based on where I already had him ranked. Super chat in here. Let me try and catch up with you guys. Hold up. Let's take a receiver here. Man, I don't even like Judy, but we'll take Judy. Judy's falling. Late 7th, Judy is more than fine by me. That's more than fine by me. I was drafting him a decent bit early on in the offseason, then I'm like, he's on the Browns. You said, just started my own 10-man Dynasty PPR. I'm drafting at the 106. Who should I target? What a question. If it's not Superflex, then I guess that's such a broad question. As you guys know, I kind of hate these kind of questions. I don't know. It all comes down to who's available. I feel bad because you paid $5. If it's 106, I'm guessing somewhere in the range of like, what, the LSU receivers go off the board. Can you get Bowers there? Can you get CeeDee Lamb, Puka, something like that? That's fair. That's fair. ADP on... I was actually looking... I was debating doing an RT Sports draft today. Man, are these rooms going to make me do another freaking Mixon pick? Give me another Mixon. 89th overall Joe Mixon. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Like, I don't want to be this guy. This ain't me. I don't know how else to say it, but yeah, we'll have high stakes across all the major platforms, to be honest. I won't have any Marvin Mims either, and that's fine by me. I talked about Keenan Allen earlier. I think I would take him in like the late rounds. I'm not really crazy about him. I think it really just hurts the non-Ladd McConkey receivers in that offense more than anything else. It is fine, but you have to remember I'm drafting so many teams that why take HN at 108 when I can just get him where he goes, you know? We got a man's coin in here. The rankings are more for home leagues in the sense that receivers go early here, so I'm less likely to... Like, I have running backs pushed up in my rankings for home leagues because you don't want to fall behind that running back. Like, if you just have a super running back hungry league, you can't just keep fading them. At a certain point, you have to give in. So it's why I have him set up in a way where I'd feel good. This is a happy PR draft, my brother. If Olave is healthy, you can't imagine he's worse than Waddle. That's fair. No, I'm just saying. I'm saying if your girl's using my ranking, she might not be your girl anymore. Is all I was kind of hinting at. But that was a long time ago. But I think Parsons and McLaurin stays. I think McLaurin's much more likely to stay, but I think they both probably stay regardless, if that makes sense. You know. Go Jaylen Warren. This is a weird team, but I kind of like it. We're going to fully punt tight end. Wide receiver room seems fine. Running back, we didn't take a running back till round 3, and this, like, I think that we could probably end up at 6 running backs. Like, this is probably a 2-6-7-3 team. Real simple. I feel like we got Warren at a value there, too. 104 when his ADP is 94. Colston Loveland goes. That's a good pick, man. I like where we're at right now. Caleb and Loveland on the turn. Good on you, brother. Team's fire. I'm thinking so. I was gonna take Burden at our last pick. You guys just give me Luther Burden. 10th round Luther Burden's just automatic. That's the LeBron Hezzy move. I'm drafting at the 1 spot this year. If Hurts makes it back to me at the 4-5 turn after I've gone wide receiver, running back, is he a lock to take? Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, I took Hurts here at 41. I think I have Hurts ranked like 36, 37 right now. Like, I'm fine taking him at the 3-4 turn. So if he comes back to you, I think that's sweet. If you go on wide receiver, running back, yeah. Especially if you can go... I will say Hurts the guy you don't necessarily have to stack because he's such a rushing threat. Like, you don't need Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown with him, but... I'd say certainly, man. If you go chase 2 running backs and then come back around with Hurts Devontae, I think that's about as good as that gets. How much do I pay attention to Vegas lines? How much do they matter towards fantasy? I pay attention loosely. I know, Nick Ercolano does a ton of those videos, and they're fun, but you have to remember, too, like, the way you win fantasy leagues is with, like, massive upside, and they sometimes, like... It's the same reason why I use things like Mike Clay's projections. It's great to anchor yourself in a reality of what's the median baseline projection, but also the way that you win on the margins is by kind of using your imagination of, like, how does this guy crush? Like, last year, I'm sure if you looked at all the receivers like Deontay Johnson, Calvin Ridley, next to, like, Brian Thomas Jr., they would have outprojected him in terms of receiving yard over-under, touchdown over-under, all of that. So there's certain players that you have to accept, okay, they're not going to project as well, which is kind of like a lot of the rookies, right? Tedero and McMillan, a lot of the young players too, Travis Hunter, Travion Henderson, who I took at pick 56. absolutely is going to get crushed by James Conner in those median Vegas projections, but you have to also take your shots on the upside swings is kind of what I'm saying there. I hope that made some sense. Let's go David Njoku here. Why not? But that's kind of how I treat them. It's good to stay anchored in reality. They probably mean more for veterans and less for young breakout players. And they're a good way to kind of just be grounded in some form of reality. Hey, played 18? Hell yeah. What I think is the best pick to have? I get this question all the time, and I don't know. But I would say... I'd say probably like the 11 or the 10 spot. Somewhere here. 9 to 12, somewhere there. All right, let's stack Jalen Hurts to Goddard. I got to also be thinking about... So this is going to be a 3-quarterback team. Goddard does have the same bye as Njoku, but it's not a huge deal to me. Let's say Godwin is healthy and active by week 4. Is Emeka Egbuka ADP too high? No, sir. If Godwin misses any kind of time, then Egbuka is priced efficiently. Because if you give Egbuka a 3-week runway of running routes and no Godwin, then I just don't think a banged up Godwin ever really, grasps onto that rope of like keeping Egbuka out of the mix. As you guys know, I mean, I'm huge on Travis Hunter. I can't stop drafting him. I will say some interns depth chart is probably not the craziest thing. I will say, like, Liam Cohen coming out today and saying that he's, like, projecting him for 80% of the snaps. I think that's more meaningful. But I like Hunter regardless. I'm interested how your draft strategy gets affected based on how you draft so many teams. It's just that things like I'm just much less willing. I don't know if that's a proper way to say that, but I think so. I'm much less willing to, like the guy said, where if I don't like the 8 spot and I think I'm set up in a spot where I have to go wide receiver, then I'll just simply go wide receiver, and kind of accept that this draft that I just did, grounded in this reality, is a world where Puka and A.J. Brown hit. Instead of forcing myself and being like, oh, well, 2 wide receivers off the bat is uncomfortable and I want more running backs here, so why not pull Devon Achane to 108? And take A.J. Brown here, or take Puka Nacua and then pull Bucky Irving to the 17 spot, when it's like I just believe A.J. Brown's a better pick than Bucky, who I like. I like Bucky. You guys know I had him in yesterday's video, and I like Achane. I had him in yesterday's video, but not more than Puka. So I'd rather just take the players that I have ranked higher and be more fluid, where I know I'm going to have a billion teams and I don't have to lock in a running back in the first two rounds to like feel comfortable, or however you want to spin that. Let's see. Let's do Dylan Sampson here. Why not? We already got Judy for some Cleveland stuff. This is a fun team, guys. I will say we're cutting it real thin with Stafford likely being our QB2, with some other options as well after that if we wanted it. But we're really just making a bet. We already made the bet on Hurts and the Eagles offense, and we also already made the bet on Stafford like staying healthy with Puka, you know? I'm going to put my face up here for now. I don't know. I still don't know what I'm doing. Layer dog? Are you New York or Philly fan in general? New York, New Jersey. We got James Monson in here. That's a name I recognize. Has Keenan Allen gone off the board yet? No, he has not. I will be honest with you guys. Like, I'm not interested. Like, I think the time to draft Keenan Allen was before this news came out. At this point, I'm all set there. What's the best time to do an underdog draft? I think any time is good. And now here's what we'll take Stafford. And then I think that we're pretty much... I think that we can get... I think Hurts Stafford is fine. It's not super cozy with the Stafford back stuff, but I think we're fine there. And we'll go 2-6-7-3 is what I'm thinking. my head is at. Let's get some stacking options together here. Rams. And this is one of those times where I wish I knew all of the Week 17 stuff. I do know the Bills. Probably not going to take any of those guys, I will be honest. And then what is the Rams Week 17? See, I should know this. And then I am expecting questions on, why do you care about Week 17? It's just like in a contest like this, you're optimizing so that if you make it to the final round, that you have game stacks because it kind of turns into a DFS contest with the way that these are structured. And then I will do Week 16 as well. I know that sounds crazy, but Bills Week 16 is the Browns, which you already have. That's fun. So Browns and Seahawks. All right. All right, we'll call that a day. My bad for not fully showing the draft board there, but that's the kind of stuff that I'm thinking through at the very end of these underdog drafts, is just correlating those final 2 weeks, because those are where all the money is made. And I've done it before where you make it to those final weeks and you don't have stacks and your team sucks, and at least this is a way of kind of not covering all of your bases, but doing so in kind of a smart manner. And Grendo's slipping, huh? I'll take it. I know that he's hurt right now. People are saying like maybe Jordan James will be ahead of him, but a 26 or so slide there I'm fine with. Maybe that should have just been a random wide receiver option, I'll be honest, now that I'm looking at the players. But I think we'll be good. I think this next one will be a receiver anyways. All right, so after that, I am past all this. Do I do fab leagues? I'd say all the leagues I'm in are fab. What do you think the importance is of stacking in a home league, if really any? It's actually a really good question. Let's get Wandale just to get some points. And that's actually a really good question because of this. Because I think stacking's important in best ball, but I think it's also important in your home league. Now, of course, I'm not saying like you don't have to care about. Of course, you don't have to care about Week 16 or anything, but like it's the same way last year, where if you drafted Jamar Chase, you're betting on this passing offense. So why not stack on Joe Burrow, right? And it's the same idea of if you think Lamar Jackson's going to crush, why not stack on Mark Andrews or Zay Flowers? It's just kind of an idea of if you're going to take a player early, you're betting on that offense to be good. And you want to, in fantasy football, limit the amount of things you need to get right to win. So stacking pass-catching options with their quarterback is always a good idea in terms of, like, if you invested highly in a certain player and you get their quarterback, they correlate. If the pass-catching option does well, most likely the quarterback does too, is kind of the idea behind it. It's not a must, you know what I mean? Like, if you're in a home league and your quarterback's not stacked, it doesn't really matter. But I think it's a cherry on top for your team if you can say, okay, well this was stacked, right? Like last year, you take Terry McLaurin and then you stack Jaden Daniels on at the end. You are already betting on McLaurin. If McLaurin's going to hit, then Jaden Daniels has to be pretty good, right? For McLaurin to have paid off last year as like a 4th, 5th round pick. That's just kind of what the idea is. I did one RTS last year, Henry, but I'll probably dip my toes in all of between NFC. I definitely want to definitely look at I guess like the rake and kind of the expected value across the fantasy championship, the RotoWire, and the Big Gorilla. But I'll definitely have a couple in all of them just to kind of diversify it a bit, I guess. We got super chat here. I took Neighbors with the 4th overall pick. All right. Respect to you. Thoughts on Monangai? I mean, I'm not crazy about him, but I also think that it's a weak wide receiver or a running back room there. Just take Terrence Ferguson here and then kind of decide what I want to do with this last wide receiver spot. We can go Hurts. We can go Tutu Atwell if we want. We can go. We got some ideas. Am I still taking Gibbs at the 102 in best ball? On Underdog, I'm not, just because his ADP is like 106, so I just don't feel the need to. Now, I will say we're only at 59 likes right now. And I only say that because I usually ask for likes before I do another draft, but I'll just be honest. We're going to do another draft, but leave a like out of the kindness of your heart, because I'm hopping on here. We'll do one more draft. We did the 108 yesterday. Let's hop into a BBM real quick. Leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. Use promo code Ronlo. Match your first deposit up to $1,000 over on the Dog app. Bang. Somebody get the graphic. Somebody get the graphic up. Where is it? Damn, we get hopped right into one. Where's the graphic? Bang. Leave a like. Check out Underdog. All the links are pinned. Why not run up one more? Let's do Torrey Horton here. He gives us some late season correlation, and he's also just been such a stud. I hate overdoing training camp hype, but he's a guy in Torrey Horton where, like, he's a Seahawk, so I'm not taking a lot of Sam Darnold. He's not really going to fit in a lot of teams, but I think here he made sense. That's a fun team right there, fellas. Let's look at that real quick. Nothing crazy, but I think for a team that took 2 wide receivers up top, I think that we definitely covered ground at running back the correct way. We went Puka, A.J. Brown, Breece Hall, Jalen Hurts. So we stacked Hurts to A.J. Brown. We went Trevion Henderson, Chris Olave, Jerry Jeudy, Joe Mixon, Jalen Warren, Luther Burden, David Njoku, Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert to Jalen Hurts, of course. Dylan Sampson, Matthew Stafford to Puka Nacua, Isaiah Guerrero, Wandale. What's going on here? There we go. Isaac Guerrero, my bad. Wandale Robinson, Terrence Ferguson, Torrey Horton for a very fun 2-6-7-3 squadron here. Let's get set up in the next draft. Yeah, let's pop this out. There we go. Here we are from the 11 spot. It's a fun spot. All right, we like that. I'm definitely far behind here. Do you have any kind of finance accounting background, or are you just a freak in the Google Sheets? I'm just been a numbers nerd my entire life. I wish I could say I had a better background than I did. I was definitely going to go the route in college, or probably somewhere in the business world of finance, accounting, whatever. I took accounting in high school, stats in my 2-year. I took accounting and statistics in my 2-year community college career. That's really all I got. I do not dabble in weekly winners. That's a crazy name. Let's go Nico Collins here and see what this guy gives back to me. Oh, he goes Derrick Henry. Okay, so that locks us in to Achane or Genty. He goes Brian Thomas. Let's do this. Let's just do the most on-brand Ron Stewart draft ever. Nico Collins, Devon Achane. The duo that should have won us leagues last year. That good value in one quarterback leagues? I think so. Torrey Horton, hell yeah. Smash the like, bang the bell, do whatever you got to do. Do you have a favorite spot you've drafted so far? Probably the back end. Like this 111 is really fun. But I said this before, like, I kind of drafted the mentality that I think I can make anything work. And I also think what we think is, like, oh, this is the perfect spot to draft in, like oftentimes isn't, you know? Because look, the 111 is cool, but it's also not as cool as like getting Jamar Chase or Jahmyr Gibbs in the front half, you know? Like it would be sick to do that. I will say the 2-3 turn is really tricky, and I don't really love it. And I also think the 4-5 turn isn't fun either. But it's just kind of what you have to do to get the good players. Like it kind of, you know what I mean? Like having the back end is cool, but like, you know what would be cooler than Devon Achane? Jahmyr Gibbs. Or what would be cooler than Nico Collins? Jamar Chase kind of thing. That's at least how I think of it in my head. But we're going to get some stuff at the 3-4 and the 5-6 that I think we'll like. JCM is definitely on my radar. We talked about him in the sleepers video. I'm mixing him in when it makes sense. Best ball, these underdog drafts. So this is an underdog half PPR best ball league. 3 wide receivers, 1 flex, 2 running backs, 1 quarterback, 1 tight end, 10 bench spots. Very strong start. I love it. Genty with Chip Kelly will feed families. I don't mind it, but I can't take him over Achane. I haven't ended up with a lot of Genty. It's just tough. Like I will say I wouldn't say don't draft Ashton Genty because, of course, we're not taking him top 5. So he doesn't need to have 22-plus point per game upside, right? When we're talking about that video from yesterday. But you would like that to be in his range, right? That's where you drafted Saquon last year, was early to mid-second, and he gave you 22-plus points a game and was a monster. You would like to have that outcome for Ashton Genty. The issue is, since 2010, the only rookie running back to hit 22-plus points a game was Saquon Barkley. We've seen plenty of monster, prospects in the form of Bijan Robinson, in the form of Todd Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott, Ezekiel Elliott. I don't think even Zeke got 22-plus points per game. That's really early for Rice. I'm not sure what he's on about. You said a lot of people are too high on CMC. 107's fine for me. That's where I'm taking him to. Let's think. There goes Terry. Let's just lock in an elite quarterback. I think Lamar on this side of the board is just too good to pass up, if I'm being honest with you guys. Damn it, I wanted Brees to come back so bad there. All right, played the game and couldn't get it to work. You know what? Let's just do this. I don't like... Actually, no, we're not going to. Let's just go Mike Evans. Let's just not overthink it. I was debating Worthy, but like half the fun of Worthy is setting up Mahomes later. Could go Tet, but as the wide receiver 2 on your squad isn't as fun. I really wanted Brees to come back there. Ben Tittle got him. Respect. You got Collins, Achane last year, want to run it back so badly. Yeah, from the 107, it just can't happen. What's the furthest you've seen any of the top 6 picks slide? Tough to say. I really haven't seen them slide much. We got a 102 Jamar Chase on Sunday night, which was sick. Not that that's like a crazy slide. Do anything different with Addison at only 3 games? Maybe moving him down a little bit, because the expectation was like 1 to 3 game suspension. But I'll probably just fall in line with, like, it's a cop-out answer. But like wherever the market decides, like wherever his underdog ADP ends up is probably where I will have him as well. Right now I have him in the 60s. Like, would you guys rather Addison missing the first 3 games or take Ricky Pearsall over him straight up? I think that's kind of the decision point for him right now. Any people garage in here? What's up? What's up? Big Keenan Allen news. Yeah, I was debating Kittle heavy, but I figured with Lamar, like half the appeal is getting Mark Andrews later. That's where my head went. And I'm kind of cooling off elite tight end. Not that Kittle's like a super elite tight end. We just took him on Sunday in FFPC, but Keenan went 173. That makes sense. That sounds about right. Again, I'm not going to be drafting Keenan Allen wherever he ends up. I think that the play with Keenan Allen was taking him, anticipating that he would get signed somewhere. Who are you going to take, Caskets? Metcalf. All right, let's go Flowers stacked to Lamar. Perfect. And then what's going to come back to us here? All right, let's just take RJ Harvey. I think that that's a fun way to do that. Hell yeah. I think that's a sweet start. What do you guys think? We go Nico, Achane, Lamar, Evans, Flowers, Harvey. The only one that I flinched on at all was Evans. Evans could have been Kittle. Evans could have been Kyron if you're into Kyron at the 3-4 turn, which I guess 39th over 403 Kyron's probably pretty nice. Again, Kittle, Tet. Cassett's taking Terry there to then not take Daniels is pretty funny. I like this start. You're a little worried about his Achilles injury? Yeah, I mean, everyone's worried about McCaffrey's health, and it's why you can get him at 107, but, I mean, man. If he plays, it's GG's. You could guarantee Bijan and Achane as first and third round picks. Would you? Yeah. Dak Pickens for me. You take RB in the first round, and best available at each position is Allen, Bowers, A.J. Brown, Bucky in round 2. Who are you taking? A.J. Brown for me. Who is R.J. Harvey? Fun. I think you're obviously. I don't know if you're joking or not, but fun round 2 running back for the Broncos. Could be a guy that Sean Payton uses a bunch. Good offensive line on the Broncos. Good situation with a high scoring offense. I think you got to be in on R.J. Harvey. Is Jimmy G serviceable for Puka if Stafford ends up missing time? Define serviceable. Serviceable, like... I also can't tell what this guy's cooking from the 5 spot. He's got nothing but 2 quarterbacks and 4 receivers right now. But I don't know. If Puka's the 108... If you guarantee me that it's Jimmy G for 17 games, he's probably what? Then like a late second, and then Devontae probably goes from a 3-4 turn pick to a 5th, 6th. I don't know if that really answers what you're looking for, but that's where I'm at. Genty is batshit insane at the 103 is my take. I just disagree on Zay. Zay only had 4 touchdowns last year, and he's also a third-year player, which is where we see the most breakouts among wide receivers. So I would just be shocked if Zay Flowers was tapped out in only his second year in the NFL. Let's see. Damn. All right, give me Aaron Jones. You guys hate when I take Aaron Jones, but we'll take him. And he'll be our flex, but in happy PR, I'm fine with it. I should have taken Michael Pittman now, looking back at this. Because now I'm inspired to take freaking Cooper Kupp. I'm going to take the injury discount on Khalil Shakir is what I decided. I'm not crazy about it. I think that we just screwed that up big time. I think that had to be Michael Pittman in the late 7th, and then Aaron Jones. We're going to get Aaron Jones regardless. Like, Aaron Jones is a fine pick. It's just that, to me, there's a pretty big tier break after Michael Pittman. I decided, we'll get a little discount on Shakir. Maybe Shakir's ADP goes back down once we get some positive news on the high ankle sprain. He played through one last year, super early in the offseason. I don't know. I was between Khalil Shakir. I was debating Cooper Kupp. Maybe I should have taken Cooper Kupp there. I don't know. Still taking Shakir. I mean, I'm mixing him in. What do we got here? We got Brock in here. What's going on? When's the Dynasty content coming back? Probably once the season starts. Yes, sir. Patreon does have the green targets people ask about. Who asked about... There's a good question here. Oh, this is what it was, the Bear. Is it crazy to take Bowers over Nico, H.N., Brian Thomas Jr. in a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex PPR? I don't think it's crazy. I think in a shallow lineup like that, if it's your only redraft team and you really want to make sure you get Bowers or an elite tight end in that format, I would try and push him to the second round, but I think I would. I think that, not that I would take Bowers in that situation, but I think you could justify it with a shallow lineup like that. Yeah, I agree. I'm huge on Aaron Jones. I'm just upset that it made me... Damn, Mark Andrews goes 91 there? All right. Khalil Shakir should have been Andrews. I thought maybe I could push Andrews to come back to us. I didn't realize I'd have to reach 15 picks on him. Damn. God, that sucks. Right, Andrews picked 91. I guess I should have just taken him knowing that with the likely injury, maybe he'd fly off earlier. But we saw him go late in the last draft, I think. You can go Ayuk on this team. I'm not crazy about Ayuk, but I do feel like we're behind that receiver right now. Just a little bit. Right now, Shakir and Ayuk are our flex options. Houston, Tampa. We got air at tight end right now. You guys are going to love this, but we're going to go another Luther Burden. Run it back. Look, man, if you're going to let me get Luther Burden in the 10th round, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to have to take him. Just going to. And then I'm just going to have to punt with another 3 quarterback. But there's probably going to be another 2, 6, 7, 3. I think that's where I'm at. Nico, Mike Evans, Zay Flowers. Our flex options at receiver are pretty shitty with Shakir, Ayuk, Burden. We're kind of hoping that we can find some points down the stretch with those guys. I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm not as big of a fan of this team. I think we kind of fell off after this Jones pick. I'm not a huge fan of Shakir, but I thought, maybe we can kind of capitalize on some of this injury slide. Maybe he's not done sliding either. I don't like Ayuk much, but he felt like one of the better options at receiver at this point in the draft. Seems like Trey Harris is going to fall with the Keenan Allen stuff, and probably rightfully so. We'll see. We'll see if we can land this plane. His ADP before the ankle sprain was like mid to low 70s, so really not like a crazy value that I got. His ADP was like in the Stephon Diggs, Golden, Jaden Reed range, like the 6-7 turn. Really more like early 7. Why are some messages disappearing? I got no clue. What I predicted the split between Jones and Mason? Probably like 60-40, 55-45. Like, I think it's going to be a pretty even split, but I just think Jones is going to get the high-value stuff. And we've seen him thrive on low volume before. Maybe 60-40. Maybe high 50s. That'd be my baseline. Actually, no. Maybe we draft 5. I think we're going to stop at 5 running backs on this team now that I'm looking at it. Maybe like a 2-5-8-3, something like that. Wow. Caleb fell far here. All right, let's take Caleb then. I got to be honest, with Stroud, I kind of had my sights set on, or not with Stroud, but with Nico, I kind of had my sights set on Stroud. But if we're going to get Caleb that far past ADP, don't mind if I do. Let's see. What do we want to do next? Probably going to take a wide receiver, or a tight end here, actually. We are going to take... Let's just mix in a Jake Ferguson. Doesn't feel great to have a unstacked Jake Ferguson, but we took Goddard in the last one. To me, Ferguson, like, I don't like Ferguson, but they just paid him a bunch of money, and I really like this Cowboys passing offense. Like, it wouldn't shock me at all if he scored 10 touchdowns. They'll leave the Trayvon Hunter. I mean, I drafted him in the last draft we were just in. Who I like between JSN, Garrett, and Marv? I honestly don't like any of them. In that area of like the 3rd round, I'm taking the elite quarterbacks. So Allen, Lamar. I am taking Brees, Samarian Hampton. I'm taking Trey McBride. Kind of where I'm at there. Yeah, I just I gotta be honest, man. Like, we're talking young quarterbacks in practice. I can't remember what quarterback was famous for it. But, like, practice is where things should look rough. It's where you should be trying things out. Like, practice is always, especially early practice, is always slanted towards the defense. Like, you're still learning. Like, they're all learning a new offense. I got to be honest. Like, I truly don't care how much Caleb is struggling right now in practice. Like, it's literally the Allen Iverson meme about, like, we're talking about practice, man. You know? We're literally talking about practice. We have Worthy and Rice ranked right now. I think I have Worthy in like the early 40s and Rice at the 4-5 turn area. But I think I'm going to move Rice down with it looking like it's probably going to be a 6-game suspension. I was thinking 3 to 4, but I think with the Addison news, we're probably looking at more like 6. And if you're like, why do they correlate? It's because I think everyone kind of assumed that Addison's would be lighter. And if Addison got 3, which is more on the extreme end, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I think that we can then kind of say, well, we'll probably get a more extreme side of things for Rashi, is how I'm viewing it. We're literally talking about practice, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather... I can't remember who the famous quarterback was, but, like, you want to throw interceptions in practice. Like, you want to test the limits of what you can do in an NFL uniform in practice. You should be throwing picks. You should be, like, being ultra aggressive in practice, you know? That's at least my philosophy, and I think also it's so early, man. Like, it's August 5th. Things are going to look rough right now, you know? Let's just take Hunter Henry, I guess. So how are we going to land this plane? All right, so this actually has to be a running back here. I don't like any of these running backs. Am I about to reach, like... Yeah, I am. ADP this late in the draft doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't. You just got to tell yourself that. Because, like, we're not set at receiver, but we're probably going to end up with, like, 7 or 8 max. Let's go Roshan. We're going to pull up Roshan, like, 20 picks ahead of where he usually goes, which is fine by me this late in the draft. I'm trying to think. So we're done at QB. Tight end, we have no stacking options, really. Let's pull up some Week 17, 16 stuff, which I'm sure you guys are going to love. All right, this is what we'll do. So Patriots is their week. Oh, we already got Hunter Henry. Hell yeah. There's Patriots, and then we got, not Ravens, but we got Bears versus Green Bay in Week 16. And then I should know what the Week 17 games are for the Ravens and the Bears, but I do not. Packers, Niners. But we already just did Packers, right? Yep. So then 49ers. Grando, Jordan James. That's probably the extent of that. All right. Can I also take the opponents for the Week 16 and 17 games? So that's the whole point of looking up 16 and 17. But it's just so that in this format, in Best Ball Mania, the whole thing is weeks 1 through 14. And then it's Week 15. You have to finish a certain amount in that given week, Week 16, Week 17. So it's almost a DFS-style contest, Weeks 15, 16, and 17. So the idea is, let's say I have Lamar and Zay Flowers. And in Week 17, the Ravens play the Packers. If Lamar throws for 4 touchdowns and Zay Flowers scores 2 of them, then most likely it was a shootout versus the Packers, where let's say on the other side of that, I take Jaden Reed because of the Week 17 correlation, and that then gives Jaden Reed a higher probability to then score a touchdown because you are kind of betting on this game environment where a lot of touchdowns happen, a lot of scores happen. Like, I think when Liam Murphy won it in like 2022 or 2023, it was when it was Seahawks versus Detroit, where like Amon-Ra St. Brown was on one side, Rashad Penny was on the other side, and these game stacks help a lot. So I think Travis Hunter will move up. I think an underdog, yes. Just a little bit. So what's this team again? We got 4 running backs. This might honestly be another 2-6-7-3. Like, the more that I do this, the more I'm just like, let's just make stuff like ultra balanced here. Of course, Mason Taylor goes down with an injury today. You know what, dude? I know they just signed Keenan Allen, but if you're going to give me Quentin Johnston this late, I have no choice there. I mean, Quentin Johnston at pick 180. Again, I get they have Keenan Allen. Maybe that's a dumb pick you guys can make fun of me for. But, like, is Quentin Johnston next to Keenan Allen, like, meaningfully worse than, like, rookie Dante Thornton? Or, you know, if I wanted to stack Lamar to DeAndre Hopkins? I personally don't really think so, but let's take a running back here. Let's just take Jalen Wright. I guess he's staring me down here. We'll take Jalen Wright. Oh, we already have HN. What a dumb pick by me. What a dumb pick. But it's not the end of the world. You guys might look at that and be like, you're an idiot. But we took him way past ADP. He is our 5th running back on this team. And we've seen a world where Miami has had Achane and Raheem Mostert be both startable. It's not something I'll do on every team, or really this is probably the only team that I'll have both Achane and Jalen Wright. But I think in best ball, it's really not the end of the world. I'm curious if you guys are going to like that. QJ and KLS still on the board. I don't know. 40. Maybe we'll see where QJ settles in, but I have a hard time passing up on that. Who won BBM last year? That's actually a great question. I don't know. I think the last 2 winners have been guys that haven't made content. Right? Do I lean Harvey or Henderson? For me, I lean Harvey. I think Henderson's a better player. It's really tough. I have them literally back to back. But I lean Harvey for the fact that it's just a better offense with a better offensive line. But Henderson's also really damn good. And I think Ramondre is better than what Harvey has next to him in that RB room. So now we're going to go with a tight end and probably a second running back here, I'm thinking. It's a tough decision. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I think it's one of those rare situations where, like, again, I wouldn't advise doing this often or really at all. It's just kind of how things turned out here. But I think it's one of the situations where right's not a pure handcuff. I'm usually very anti-handcuffs. I'm trying to get other people's backups in terms of running backs. And I might keep it real thin with just 5 running backs here. Let's go Jarquez Hunter. Yeah, so never mind. We'll go 2, 6, 7, 3. I think that makes the most sense to me. And you guys might hate this. I think I might go Cole Kmet. I love Loveland myself. But I also think that we're going to see a decent amount of 2 tight end stuff. We've seen Cole Kmet score touchdowns in the past, right? 4, 6, 7. Like, what if he just scores another 4 touchdown season? And in the right week, he lines up with Caleb? I think in the 18th round, you can mix in a Cole Kmet if you want. Like, I don't know how he's meaningfully worse than, like, Gesicki or Taylor or Schultz. Like, all these guys are just kind of hoping they score touchdowns at random points. But that's going to be the final squad. Here she is in all of her glory. We have Lamar Jackson, Caleb Williams, Devon Achane, RJ Harvey, Aaron Jones, Roshan Johnson, Jalen Wright, Jarquez Hunter, Nico Collins, Mike Evans, Zay Flowers, Khalil Shakir, Brandon Ayuk, Luther Burden, Quentin Johnston, Jake Ferguson, Hunter Henry, and Cole Kmet. 2, 6, 7, 3. Second draft of the day. Final draft of the day. But appreciate all you guys coming out here, hanging out with me. As always, we will be streaming every day from now through week 1 kickoff. Make sure you're subscribed. I guess make sure you got the notification bell on if you want to make sure that you hop in these when I go live. And then, of course, if you want to hop on Underdog with us as well, use promo code RON, and they'll match your first deposit up to $1,000 in bonus cash. You'll have links in the live chat, comment section, description, all that good stuff that will take you to Underdog to use promo code RON, and you can draft with us every single night this August. As always, I appreciate you guys coming out here and supporting every single night. It's nuts that we can just draw in, 280 of you guys to hang out and draft a team. But love you all, and I'll see you guys in the next one.